Hi everyone, I'm Nikita. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to share a 6-month roadmap of how I prepared for on-campus placements. Now if you're new here, I'm an alumnus of IIIT Hyderabad and I have seen one of the worst placement seasons. So I was left with no other choice but to expect the best but prepare for the worst. And without further ado, let's get started. I started my preparation in June because I was supposed to sit for placements in December, and my target for June and July was to complete the SD sheet from Striver, which has around 200 questions, and that sheet helped me build a basic foundation of all the different topics that are possibly asked in interviews, say dynamic programming, graphs, binary search, unified algorithms. So I recommend that you complete a sheet thoroughly and build a strong base. Once you've done that, move on to giving contests and solving more sheets. Also, identify which topics are especially difficult for you and solve curated lists for those topics. One tip I have here is to make notes while solving the questions. Note down the important tips, tricks, approaches, algorithms that you came across while you were solving the question, because that will help you identify patterns. अगर आपके पास एक similar question आता है इंटरव्यू में या फिर कोडिंग राउंड में, तो आपको याद आएगा कि ओके एक similar question था जो ऐसे किया था, and let me see if the same approach applies here as well. This will speed up your solving time, and at the same time जब आपको revise करना है, suppose you have an interview next day and you want to revise what all questions that you found were difficult for you at some point of time, then instead of sitting down and coding up the solutions, you can just go through your notes and have a look of all the different ways you could solve that question. The next important element is projects, and I had done some good projects as part of my courses. So along with the Striver sheet in June and July, I decided to prepare projects from an interview standpoint. Now what is that? So for an interview, you should be ready. You should be ready in terms of what all concepts are related to the project. For example, you have a project related to neural networks. You should know all the basic concepts and terminologies related to neural networks. Second, be sure that you know the implementation very well. Why did you use a particular data structure? Why did you use a particular approach? How did you implement load balancing? Why did you use a particular database? All those questions will be asked, and you should be able to justify why did you pick a particular approach. And finally, it helps to have diverse projects. So make projects related to AI, ML, cyber security, your front-end development, back-end development, because the companies, when they're hiring for freshers, what they are not looking for you to be an expert in a particular field. Rather, if you have a basic knowledge of different domains, the company can leverage you for multiple projects. At the same time, it will give you the opportunity to sit for different types of roles, be it developer, data scientist, or network engineer. The fourth important concept is subjects. So for operating systems, read about multi-threading, locking, shell commands. For DBMS, definitely know how to write SQL queries. Even in some of the online assessments, you might be asked to write SQL queries. Computer networks is not asked everywhere, so if you're sitting for network engineering roles or some related roles, then definitely prepare concepts related to computer networks. And you can actually find the list of the most common interview questions related to all the theory on Geeks for Geeks as well as interview bit. The next important element is behavioral round, and most of the people neglect preparing for this because engineers think, what is there to prepare for HR rounds? Do not do this mistake. Let's say I ask you a question. Describe a situation in your life where you were under a lot of pressure and how did you go through it? Now, most of the people are not storytellers, and you just can't start blabbering and make up a story. You might take time to recall that incident, and then you will take multiple pauses while describing the situation. And you obviously don't want that. MNCs like Google, they take the Googliness round, and most of the MNCs, they want to test you, your personality, to understand that you are a cultural fit for the company. Practice behavioral questions, ask your friends to ask you such questions, and keep a mental note of the different situations in your life that have shaped you and that have helped you become the person you are and have taught you something. The next important element of your interview preparation is mock interviews. Now, after I was done with all the technical preparation by October, I kept November for behavioral and for mock interviews. And I can't stress enough how much mock interviews help you handle the pressure of a real interview. So reach out to your friends, reach out to your seniors and ask them to take your interviews. You will get some very useful tips because those are the people who have been in the situation like you before. And at the same time, they have the corporate experience too and have seen things from the other side. So they know what a recruiter looks for while hiring a candidate. In the next video, I'm going to share the tips and tricks that I received while I was giving mock interviews, and at the same time my own perspectives, because I've been in corporate for a year now. So I'll share my learnings as well. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.